Welcome to the Cyber Center for Biblical Studies. Hi, my name is Herb Bateman. Today we want to address a series that Kriegel Publishing puts out entitled the 40 Questions Series. We have with us today the editor of that series, Ben Merkle, who is a professor of New Testament Studies at Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in North Carolina. Ben, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you visit with us and give us some information about this series. So let me begin with a purpose. What is the purpose of this 40 Questions series that you're editing?
Yeah, really the idea behind it is to look at controversial issues and answer the questions that people are asking. People have questions about certain topics, and I thought it would be helpful to compile those questions in a user-friendly format that people can access, written by really by top scholars, but in a way that's accessible to the average reader. And so that's really what's going after is let's take a question, let's answer it in maybe 4 to 8 pages, give a succinct answer to that question. And it ended up being 40 questions was about the right amount for a particular topic. So the key was really to find the right topic and match it with the right author. Okay. And I think we've done that so far.
Okay. So you identified the purpose, and just to put essential questions before people. What spurred you to create this? I mean, this is to me, I think this is a great series. What spurred you to put this series together?
Yeah, people do love the series. I get a lot of feedback from people saying, "Oh, I love it, I love the format." As I was thinking about a particular topic, and in writing the first volume, I thought, when you write a book, when you're trying to put things down on paper and explain a particular view, there are different ways to do that. You can say something different, and that's what makes it unique, and therefore a publisher wants to get that material out. Or it could be how you say it, the format in which you say it. And so this series really emphasizes the format. So as I was teaching particular topics, as I was talking with students, I would get the same questions. And they keep asking these same questions, and I keep answering these same questions.
Been there.
So I thought it would be good. At first I thought, I'm gonna write these questions. I bet I can come up with 100 questions. After I got just past 30, maybe 35, I thought, I'm getting close. I'm getting close to really, at least for this topic, really answering all the major questions. So I thought, let's shoot for 40. That's a good round number. It's a good biblical number.
There you go.
Let's just stop there. So that's kind of where we ended up.
Well, cool. Very good. Yeah. And nothing like students to help us frame and formulate ideas for books.
And it helps you. I think it allows an author to really exhaust the topic. There are other books that deal with controversial issues, different views on a particular topic. So you get one author explaining a view and writing 40 or 50 pages on it, and another author explaining his view, another 40 or 50 pages, and a third or fourth, or sometimes fifth. But you only get to a certain level of depth. And with the 40 questions, it allows you to engage that topic and really go a lot deeper into the topic itself.
All right. Well, good. Well, what are some of the volumes that are currently out? Can you give me some sample volumes? I know we have yours behind me, and but what other ones are out besides?
So mine on Elders and Deacons was the first volume.
Okay.
Then it was followed by Rob Plummer's volume on biblical interpretation.
Okay.
Which is really helpful. And it's profound and yet simple. I mean, it starts off by answering the question of, what is the Bible? So it can be accessible to anyone, and yet it's I think profound enough to be used in the college or seminary. So it really is a very well written book. Then we have 40 questions about the Christian and the law. How does a Christian relate to the law? And that was written by Tom Schreiner, another excellent volume. After that, we had 40 questions on the end times, which is something that everybody's interested in. So we had a very well-known scholar, Eckhard Schnabel, do that volume, and I think he did a fantastic job. Then we had 40 questions on creation and evolution by two authors, and the reason why I wanted two authors is I wanted somebody who really knew the Hebrew, who can get in the Old Testament and deal with the questions related to Genesis. But then, because it's such a broad topic, creation, evolution, it's huge. You're dealing with science, you're dealing with apologetics, you're dealing with so many issues. We had Ken Keithley, who is a systematic theologian, but also interested in this topic of creation. It's kind of his specialty. And so together they did that volume. I think that's probably the widest volume as far as, and I think the thickest as well. Then we had 40 questions on the historical Jesus by Marvin Pate, answering those questions about Jesus, who he was, looking at his life, looking at his birth, his ministry, his death, the resurrection, those sort of questions. And then the most recent volume, 40 questions about baptism and the Lord's Supper, looking at the two ordinances. That was written by John Hammett, another, I think, well-written, accessible volume.
Okay.
Yep. Those are the 7 out right now.
Okay. Well, on the one hand, I can see this be extremely helpful for students within a seminary or college background that's maybe preparing for ministry. How might this be helpful for a pastor or
Sure.
A layperson? How might this 40 question series, are some volumes better than others for lay people and a pastor? How might you?
Well, there might be, but the idea is that these are really accessible, and to anybody who's not doesn't have a formal religious Christian education. That's really the goal. That's really my desire, is to have them accessible. And again, as yet deep and profound, because they're written by top-notch scholars, to be used in a classroom setting. So, because of the user-friendly format, I think that's really the key. What makes it accessible. If you get a book and you pick it up, and the first chapter is 40 pages, that's intimidating. You're like, I don't have the time to do that. You want to start it, maybe finish it within one reading. Well, that's not going to happen. And then usually books you have to read, you start at the beginning and you have to follow the argument, you have to read it to the end. The 40 question series lets you open the book, look at the table of contents and say, you know what, right now I really want to, that question interests me. So, you know what, I got 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to look at that chapter. And so I think that's what makes it accessible to really anyone. And there are also reflection questions at the end of the chapter. So if you want to use it in a setting, a Bible study, where you're looking at a topic, or you want to engage in a small group, whatever, there are questions to help facilitate discussion on a particular topic.
Okay, well, good. Well, Ben, thank you so much for not only coming up with this series, but for the time you spent editing it and putting together to put some tough issues on the bottom shelf for us. Thank you.
Yeah, and there'll be some more volumes forthcoming, so
well,
look
good.
forward to that.
Well, thanks.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us. And I trust that you might investigate this 40 questions series and pick up a book or two and add them to your library. But until next time, I trust that you will have a great day.